Hello, I'm Wayne Roy. You have asked me about real estate on Padre Island, and I look forward to showing it to you. There's no other place like Padre Island. After you get to my office, and before we look at property, the first thing you must do is read an information letter. My licensing body wants a copy of their letter, information about brokerage services, in my file with your signature on it to show that you've received it. That's how important this one page is to the Texas Real Estate Commission. After the introductory warning, the second paragraph goes on to briefly explain seller's agency. My first animation is going to be to explain a seller's agent. The characters are Mr. Warthog. Mr. Warthog wants to sell his house for $175,000. Young realtor. Young realtor just got out of real estate school about a month ago. He knows all there is to know about selling real estate. I want to sell my house for $175,000.
Well, Mr. Warthog, I can take care of that for you. But first, the governor and the ruling majority of the Texas legislature hired a bunch of good old boys. They got together and they wrote this letter for you. They want you to read. It's called Information About Brokerage Services.
Don't want to read. I want to sell my house for $175,000.
All right, I can do that. But, Mr. Warthog, I've done a competitive market analysis of the properties in your area, and the ones like yours are selling for $150,000. Are you sure you want to sell it for that much over the price?
I want to sell my house for $175,000.
Okay, Mr. Warthog, sign that contract.
Mr. Warthog signs the contract. Now that Mr. Warthog has listed his property with Young Realtor, he's became a seller, which makes Young Realtor a seller's agent. Everything that Young Realtor has learned in life and all that he's been taught in the last month in real estate school is used to help Mr. Warthog sell his house. The next character in our animation is a customer, Lotta De Niro. She saw Mr. Warthog's house on the computer and she came down to Padre Island to see it.
Boy, be a good day to make a sale of Mr. Warthog's house.
Hi, my name is Lotta De Niro. I came down to see Mr. Warthog's house. I saw it on the internet.
Well, Mr. De Niro, I'd love to show you that house, but first, you got to look at a form that's required by the state for me to show it to you.
What is it?
It just tells you how brokerage services work. It's not anything very useful. Just go ahead and sign it. Okay, now you can see Mr. Warthog's house. It's right behind you.
Oh, it's a beautiful house. I think I'll buy it.
Well, I'd be happy to sell it to you. Mr. Warthog wants $175,000 for his house.
Well, that's a little too much. I could pay $150,000.
Well, now you can go ahead and make a contract for $150,000, but I don't know that Mr. Warthog will accept it.
Lotta has made an offer of $150,000 on Mr. Warthog's house. Normally, a young realtor or any other realtor would recommend their client take a market value offer. But on the way off the island, Lotta stopped at the 7-Eleven, bought a Coke and a lottery ticket, and would you believe she won?
Do, 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 do.
Mr. Warthog! Mr. Warthog! Where are you, Mr. Warthog?
I want $175,000 for my house.
Well, Mr. Warthog, I got good news for you. I got an offer on your house. A lady wrote you a $150,000 offer, Mr. Warthog. And normally, I'd say that's a reasonable price you already accept. But, ooh, lordy, Mr. Warthog, your buyer's done gone and won the lottery. Ooh, lordy.
I want $175,000 for my house.
Well, Mr. Warthog, let's make her a counter offer for full price, and I bet you can pay it now.
I want $175,000 for my house.
Lotta came down to the island and bought Mr. Warthog's property. But she bought it from young realtor. Young realtor was working for Mr. Warthog, and Lotta ended up spending $25,000 more than what she had to pay for the property. That's seller agency. Young realtor is working for Mr. Warthog. Okay, in our next video, it's going to be showing the next stage of the letter, which is buyer agency. Mature realtor is going to show us buyer agency. Lotta is going to do business with him this time. See how it plays out.
Hi, my name is Lotta De Niro. I saw Mr. Warthog's house on the internet and I'd like to see it. Could you help me?
Well, yes, ma'am. I can do that for you, Miss De Niro. I'm working as a seller's agent, but first I've got a form I want you to look at. It's called Information About Brokerage Services. It tells you some real serious stuff about how realtors work.
I went to real estate school back in Texarkana. I know about that form. I'll be happy to sign it for you, though. Now then, Mr. Realtor, could you represent me on this?
Why, yes, ma'am. Here's a buyer's representation contract. If you'll sign it, I'll be working for you. So Lotta signs the form. Mature realtor is no longer a sub-agent of the seller. Now that he's signed a contract with Lotta, he's a buyer's agent. He can work totally different. He is working for Miss De Niro here. Okay, Miss De Niro, I'll be happy to show you that house. Turn around.
Wonderful house. I gotta have it.
How much is he asking? The listing price is $175,000.
Oh, we can pay that.
It's not necessary, Miss Lotta. You don't want to pay more than market value. This house's market value is $150,000. And I've noticed there's some darkness to the roof up here. Let's offer him $140,000 and you'll probably get it. Well, that's it. My little animation to show you what the letter Information About Brokerage Services is trying to tell you. Do business with a seller's agent, you'll pay more. do business with a buyer's agent, you have somebody working on your side. Come see me. I want to be your buyer's agent.